Most people think hypothermia only happens in the snow. It doesn't. Almost all real-world cases start in mild weather when people think they're not at risk. If you're shivering, it's already too late because cold always wins. The reality is hypothermia is not a cold weather problem, but most people miss it because hypothermia doesn't announce itself. It doesn't feel dramatic. It feels annoying, uncomfortable, and easy to ignore. Most people think, I'll deal with it later. That delay is where things go wrong. In wilderness medicine, early hypothermia is one of the most preventable problems and one of the most commonly missed. Hypothermia is simply this: your body's losing heat faster than it can make it. That's it. You don't need snow. You don't need freezing temperatures. Wind, moisture, inactivity, and fatigue actually do the job just fine. And once your core temperature drops, your thinking drops with it. That's why early recognition matters more than heroic treatments. Most people fail because the early warning signs are subtle. Early hypothermia looks like shivering, clumsiness, slower thinking, apathy, and poor decisions. But the key point is this: shivering is already a warning sign, not a solution. By the time someone is shivering, they're already behind. The body is trying to already compensate for what they're losing. It's burning calories and it's putting you in a deficit. So the action for you is to, if you or your partner start shivering, stop moving forward and reassess. This pause is what's going to prevent it from being an emergency. The biggest mistake people make is trying to push through. It's just a little sweat. Even Creek Stewart said, hey, if you're sweating, you're dying. People keep hiking, they keep working, they keep pretending it'll fix itself. But cold plus fatigue equals bad judgment. Hypothermia doesn't get better by ignoring it. It actually gets worse, quietly. But early treatment is simple. But as we've said in other things, it's boring. That's why it works. So step one, stop the heat loss. Get out of the wind, get off the ground, get dry. Wind and moisture matter more than temperature. Even trash bags, a tarp, or jacket used correctly can actually change the outcome. Step number two, add insulation, not just more clothes. Insulation works by trapping heat, not by being thick. Loft matters. Dry matters. Put insulation under a person, not just on top. That's separating them from the ground and keeping it to where the ground is not zapping them or pulling the heat off of them. Because remember, cold always wins, and heat always yields to cold. Add dry leaves between the layers of clothing because it traps warm air between the layers. Think about the puffy jackets. Think about sleeping bags. Think about thermal shirts with the little pockets in them. But if you're in an urban environment, keep in mind that crumpled newspaper serves the same purpose, or any paper for that matter. Step number three is to add calories and warmth. While you want to build a fire, that's fine. Food fuels heat like logs in a fire. Simple sugars work fast, and warm drinks help if people are alert. One of the perfect drinks is warm water and Jell-O, not the sugar-free kind. You don't need a feast, and you certainly don't need a boost of energy. You just need enough calories to kind of counteract the fact that your body is burning more calories than you're putting in. Step number four is to slow everything down. No rushing, no aggressive movement. Calm treatment, as I've said before, works better than fast treatment. Be deliberate, be intentional. So what do you not do? You certainly don't rub your arms and legs together aggressively, because what that does is it burns the skin and makes hot spots. Keep in mind what you want to do is you want to do slow, skin against skin contact. You don't want to force movement, and you certainly don't want to ignore the early warning signs. Also, you don't want to assume that they're going to warm up on their own. They may need help because, again, poor decision making. These mistakes can actually turn mild hypothermia into a medical emergency. Here's the mindset that actually saves people. Cold is a process, not a moment. You don't wait until you're hypothermic to act. You act when things start drifting in that wrong direction. Repair people don't push through, they adjust early. Keep in mind, hypothermia doesn't start as an emergency. It always becomes one because people ignore the early signs. So be aware, stay dry, block the wind, fuel the body, slow things down. That's how you prevent problems as opposed to reacting to them.